Hello Scorpio, my name is Keith Hasbroll and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Scorpio, to this reading of your horoscope for 2014 from a spiritual perspective. Now, if your sun sign is Scorpio, and you know your time of birth accurately within a half an hour, then it's important for you to know what your rising sign is or what your ascendant is. And if you don't know this, well, submit your birth details through my website and I'll be happy to do your horoscope chart for you free of charge and send it to you with a bundle of goodies, and also to tell you what your ascendant is so you can watch the video that's applicable for your rising sign, which will be much more applicable to you than your sun sign, because this is a spiritual reading. Now, what I'll be focusing on in this reading for you is to look at your horoscope from the point of view of the movements of planets in 2014, so that I can help you to understand what's going on in your life spiritually, but also from the mundane events and conditions in your life as well, with a view to helping you to understand more about yourself. To know yourself is a very powerful force and a very powerful need. And so the science of astrology can help you to understand more about yourself. And I'll be looking at the location of the signs on each of the 12 houses of your horoscope. You've got your rising sign, which is the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of your first breath. And that sign is individual to you and you alone, and to others who have the same rising sign as you. If we don't know your rising sign, then we use the sun as the cusp of the first house, and it's equally as accurate. But it's preferable if you can have your ascendant and be working on looking at the video that is applicable for your rising sign or your ascendant. Now, what I'm going to be doing for you is telling you the various impacts of the signs on the cusps of your houses. Astrology is the most scientific presentation of hidden truth in the world today, because it deals with you and your life and the events and conditions in your life. Now, it's important to understand that you are creating all of the events of your life. There's no such thing as karma that's imposed upon you, and therefore you must break a leg because you forced someone in a last life to break their leg or something like that. Or all of these things that are imposed upon you because you've been a bad person in your past life. You are experiencing all of these events and conditions because of your raw materials. These are your attitudes and your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings, and the decisions and choices that those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings engender from within yourself. Now, each of us are living our lives through the events and conditions of our life and experiencing our consciousness through those events and conditions in our life. And these events and conditions in our life all belong somewhere in one of the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. So, as having your rising sign on the cusp of your first house, there'll be the next sign following on from that is going to be in the cusp of the second house, and then the next sign will be on the cusp of the third house, and so forth, all the way through the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. And each of the events of your life fit into one of these 12 houses. But more importantly than that, you are experimenting and experiencing and expressing your consciousness through these houses, and in that process you are gaining experience and you are gaining knowledge, and you are turning that knowledge into wisdom. Now, the most important thing about my reading that I'm going to be doing for you here is that I'm going to be telling you what are the needs that you are fulfilling through these houses of your horoscope, because each of the 12 houses, you are fulfilling certain needs in life through the events and conditions of that house. The first house, for example, is your need to have impact. You need to commence and start projects and ideas so that you can have impact in the world and feel a sense of power. The second house is the house to do with your sense of security and fulfilling your security needs, not just your financial security, but also your physical health security and your emotional security, your mental security, and your spiritual security in life. So through that house, you're fulfilling your security needs. Through the third house, you are fulfilling your needs to communicate. And that is the house where you are dealing with those who are close to you, like relatives and neighbours. The fourth house is where you are fulfilling your belonging needs, to belong to a home environment and a family unit, and to those who cohabitate with you in the home, sharing that family sense of belonging there. So you are fulfilling your belonging needs. The fifth house is where you are fulfilling your need to love. We all need to love, and we all need to have fun. And so entertainments and amusements fit into there. Romance and love fits into there. And sexual activities, sporting activities, restaurants and places of amusement, and children. The greatest capacity for us to express our love is through our offspring. The sixth house is the house where we are fulfilling our service needs. We all need to be having meaningful work. So work belongs in that arena of the sixth house. Meaningful work is very important for you regarding health. So we need to be able to be of useful service in the community through meaningful employment, and that fits into that category of maintaining good health through right diet and exercise. The seventh house is the house fulfilling our needs to have a mate, to have somebody in our life who is an intimate, someone that we can get to know, and to be known in return. To be known is very, very important, and to know someone is a very important need that needs to be fulfilled in life. The eighth house fulfills our need for change. We're all the time reflecting and thinking upon aspects of our nature that we know that we should transcend. And so fulfilling that need for change. The ninth house is the house where we fulfill our need for expansion. And we do that through adult education, through study, research and investigation, through philosophy, religious pursuits, and also travel. The 10th house is where we are fulfilling our esteeming needs. We all have a need to be well thought of in the community and to aspire to the heights of success in whatever our chosen field is, and that brings in the career and business. The 11th house is where we are fulfilling our need for friendship and group activities. We all have the need to have friendships and to have group activities in our life. We are ultimately all working towards group consciousness. And so group activities and club activities all fit into that category. The 12th house is where we are fulfilling our needs for solitude. We all need to have that time, quiet time to ourselves, where we can reflect and think upon ourselves and aspire towards being more of who we really are and aspire towards the divine. And many times we do this the wrong way. We do it through crisis and internment in hospitals and institutions. And we force ourselves to have that solitude, and we force ourselves to reflect upon moral and principles and values and so forth, and to develop our character and to aspire towards the divine. Make no mistake about it, you are in a spiritual classroom. All of us are in a spiritual classroom. Whether you believe in God and believe in Goddess is immaterial. The fact of the matter is that they have created everything that's in our lives. They have created everything that's in the universe. And without them, you wouldn't be here in life. Science poo-poos higher beings, and science poo-poos a designer in the universe, but the evidence of design in the universe is just so overwhelming that you must let it in that there is that God and Goddess, that ultimate being who's there to help us and to guide us. And so this is the objective and the purpose of my work, is to help you to be a believer in God and Goddess. A believer in the fact that they have set it up in a way that allows you and gives you the power to create your own reality. You are creating all of the events of your life. No one is doing it to you. So if you've got pain in your life, you've got to look at your raw materials. You've got to look at your attitudes and your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings. It's easy to think that no one knows my thoughts and no one knows my feelings, but everything is recorded by yourself, by the higher aspects of yourself, your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind. And so rather than creating all of the events of your life through your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind, you're better off to do it consciously. And so this is what the objective of my intensives are all about, is to help you to understand the laws that we live within in this space-time rule set that we call Earth, this spiritual classroom that we call Earth. And we've all made mistakes. We need to draw upon courage. Courage is the willingness to act, even though you don't have all the answers, and even though some of the answers that you do have are wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. We all do it. And so the idea is to rise above those mistakes from here on, and to start changing those attitudes and beliefs and those thoughts and those feelings that are there in your subconscious mind, thoughts that you don't deserve love, thoughts and feelings and attitudes and beliefs that you're no good, that life is a financial struggle for you, that you'll never amount to anything, that relationships don't work out for you, that you're not lovable, and self-pity and fear and self-sabotage and anxiety and doubt and insecurity. Look, we've all got these things inside of ourselves. And this is what we're in this level of consciousness to do, is to transcend all of those negative aspects of ourselves. And so you sit back and relax now and enjoy the journey here, and I'll take you through a journey for 2014 and tell you what sort of impacts that you're going to be experiencing and which way that you are going to be developing those principles and values within yourself in order to fulfill your needs. Now, for you to be watching this video, you must have either your sun sign is in Scorpio, or else your rising sign is in Scorpio. Either way, it's going to be very accurate and applicable for you, but more so if it is your rising sign. Now, Scorpio, you are very intense and you have impact in the world. Looking at your first house, you have impact in the world through your intensity and through your mystery. You have a tremendous amount of sexuality about you, and you spend most of your life unraveling the mystery of that sexuality, and later on in life you start to delve into the other aspects of yourself, and that is the mystery of death and life after death and deaths of aspects of yourself that you're working on to transcend. So Scorpio is a very mysterious sign. It's my sign, as a matter of fact, my sun sign. So I have a close affiliation with you, Scorpio, whether you've got a rising Scorpio or else the sun sign in Scorpio. Now, you like to be practical, and you don't like many changes in life, even though your sign is the sign of change, and you bring about those changes through deaths of aspects of yourself that you feel as if you've outgrown, but you give those parts of yourself up very reluctantly, because you have these various masks that you wear, and these masks represent aspects of yourself that you are addicted to. So yes, it's a very hard bundle of energies to handle, the Scorpio energies, but you are one to delve into the mysteries of life, especially life after death, after you've had enough impacts in your consciousness through the addictions to patterns of behaviour that you have got you into a bit of trouble here and there. Now, you've got a very interesting thing in the whole of the year of 2014, Scorpio. You've got Saturn in your sign. With Saturn, the planet of intelligent activity and the planet of the law of economy, you have a big problem on your hands if you're going to be wasting time, money or energy. And so you've got to make sure that all of your self-initiated plans are thought out carefully, and give them structure and design, and bring them down into manifestation as conditions and events in your life. If you're not using time wisely and energy wisely and money wisely, then you are going to find that you'll have a lot of frustrations in 2014. So the law of economy is saying to you that you must be practical. You must be well organised and plan your initial efforts out, your self-initiated efforts out into a manifestation as conditions and events in your life. You could experience ill health with Saturn in the first house of your horoscope. You could experience depression, but you'll be very ambitious in the year of 2014, and if you are working towards the higher part of yourself, you'll be very practical and you'll be happy to take on extra responsibility throughout the year. Now, Mars is your ruler, Scorpio, and you've got Mars in a retrograde or apparent backward motion from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May this year. And so therefore you're going to find that your personal self-initiated efforts are not going to go quite as well as you hope and plan for them to come out during this time. You'll have to work that much harder to manifest your self-initiated efforts and to have that incredible impact that you want to have through that first house initiatives. And another thing that you can do, Scorpio, is you can have impact way beyond yourself, impact out there into the world by bringing about those changes that Saturn is demanding in your life. And the Martian energies are going to be wanting to go back into past habit patterns of behaviour and past masks. They want you to try them on again to see if they still fit. So you're going to have a bit of a battle on your hands there from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May. The three factors about yourself and the three qualities, principles and values that you are in the process of inveigling into your consciousness throughout the year of 2014, Scorpio, is self-control, purity and morality. Now, Scorpio, you've got Sagittarius on the cusp of your second house, and the second house is the house where you are developing your and expressing your needs and acquiring your needs and fulfilling your needs for security in life. Financial security, but also physical, emotional and mental and spiritual security. With the sign Sagittarius, the fiery sign of Sagittarius on the cusp of your second house, it means that you've got a lot of enthusiasm to make money. You're very goal-oriented when it comes to making money, Scorpio. And you're very frank, straightforward and to the point with people about your financial affairs. You call a spade, what you might say. But you'll always be working towards some financial goal in life, Scorpio. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of your second house, Scorpio, the second house where you are fulfilling your security needs. And Jupiter is the ruler there. Jupiter is in an apparent backward motion from the beginning of the year all the way through to the 7th of March. And during this time, you'll find that your finances are just not going to go as smoothly as what you would like them to. So you'll have a bit of a rocky road there financially and fulfilling your security needs during this particular period. And then it kicks in again, that retrograde cycle, on the 9th of December, Scorpio, and continues then on for the rest of the year and into the new year as a retrograde. So you'll experience the same things then with regard to your finances and fulfilling your security needs. Now you have Capricorn on the cusp of your third house, Scorpio, and that third house is the house whereby you are fulfilling your communication needs. And with Capricorn on the cusp there, you don't engage in idle chatter. You approach things from a practical point of view. You talk a lot about practical matters and you structure your words carefully. And you can be susceptible at times to be a bit demanding and a bit hard and cold in some ways. And you can be a bit dominating and manipulating and controlling of others too that you're communicating with. But all in all, you're very practical and down to earth. You like to plan things out and you communicate in a way that is reliable and trustworthy, and people turn to you for advice in life. Now Saturn is the ruler, Scorpio, of your third house, and so therefore your communication needs are going to have a little bit of a hiccup from the 3rd of March to the 21st of July. So that's quite a lengthy period there where Saturn is going in an apparent retrograde motion or an apparent backward motion in retrograde. And so you're going to find that all dealings with relatives and neighbours and your communications generally and matters relating to motor vehicles and contracts and agreements, all these fit into the third house. You're going to find that things are not going to go quite as smoothly as what you would like them to during that particular period. Now, two qualities, principles and values, Scorpio, that you are utilising the third house and you are utilising your communication skills to develop within yourself are open-mindedness and tolerance. Tolerance for the faults and weaknesses of others. Now you've got Aquarius, Scorpio, on the cusp of your fourth house. And that is an unusual bundle of energies there to have. So what that means is that you will have a home environment which is out of the ordinary or unusual. You will have other people living with you perhaps. You'll perhaps live in a relationship where you're not bothered to get married. And in the latter part of your life, which is the fourth house is to do with the latter part of your life, you have some unusual circumstances in life whereby you are strongly attracted towards the futuristic, and you are strongly attracted towards things like astrology, meditation and reincarnation. You are fulfilling through the fourth house, Scorpio, your need to belong to a family unit, But that family unit is generally going to be an unusual type of a family unit, not one that fits into the mainstream of thinking. So you'll have family that are not really your family who are living with you. You'll have the home with different people living there with you, and unusual people living with you. You'll have unusual circumstances in your family unit, and you could have, for example, another couple living with you in the home. So you have that family unit that is a group, what you might say. With Aquarius on the cusp of your 4th house, you could quite feasibly live near high tension wires or near a main freeway or something like that at some time in your life. Now Uranus is the ruler, Scorpio, of your 4th house, so this sense of belonging to a family unit is going to be shaken around when Uranus goes into a retrograde motion or an apparent backward motion. And that happens from the 23rd of July right the way through to the 22nd of December, just before Christmas. So it's quite an extended period there, Scorpio, where you are going to find that domestic matters and family matters and property matters and matters relating to the home environment and fulfilling your belonging needs are going to be a little bit rocky and shaky during that time. So you'll have some unusual experiences during that time. Perhaps a crisis with a change in residence or a sudden change in residence, or there could be a change in circumstances domestically with one of the people who are living with you perhaps suddenly leaving or something like that. Now Scorpio, you have Pisces on the cusp of your 5th house. So you have a strong leaning. The 5th house is the house of fun, and it's the house where you express your love. So you express your love in a very loving way. There's no two ways about that. But it's also a lot of mystery there with Pisces on the cusp of the 5th house. So you have a leaning toward drugs and alcohol in life, and you'll have mystery in terms of relationships and romance and mystery surrounding children. So there can be some worries about children, having problems with drugs or alcohol. There could be problems and secret worries about children in life. There can be problems with regard to the romantic side of life. The women in your life or the men in your life could cheat you or deceive you or have a strong leaning toward drugs or alcohol themselves. And there's all sorts of strange circumstances and mystery surrounding that 5th house, Scorpio. So yeah, there's a lot of intrigue, a lot of potential there for secret activities, and yeah, a lot of mystery there surrounding your 5th house of fun and expression of your love. But when you hook on to the higher aspects of yourself, Scorpio, and start expressing that higher aspects of yourself, you're very loving, and you just want to get out there and love everybody that you can come into contact with in your social life. So you can be at a restaurant and start talking to the people at the next table with no problems whatsoever. Now the ruler of Pisces, Scorpio, is Jupiter, and Jupiter is retrograde right from the beginning of 2014 through until the 7th of March. And that means that all things to do with romance, love and the social side of life and matters relating to children can be a little bit wonky, and it'll cause a little bit of concern for you. So you're not quite able to fulfill your needs for fun, and your needs to be able to express your love are perhaps going to be interfered with there during this period. It's not all going to go smoothly for you in the area of romance and love if you're in the arena for love and romance. Then after the 7th of March, things will go a lot more smoothly for you, Scorpio, but then it kicks in again towards the end of the year, that retrograde motion of Jupiter on the 9th of December. So from the 9th of December onwards, through for the balance of the year, you're going to experience that shakiness again in your love life and to do with children and your capacity to have fun and express your love. Now, as far as your 6th house is concerned, Scorpio, you've got Aries on the cusp of your 6th house, the fiery sign Aries. So you are there in this 6th house fulfilling your service needs. And this brings in the job and health and dietary matters. So you can have a fair bit of tension in the job, especially early in life. You're going to have a fair bit of tension in the job with people that you work with. There can be conflicts and arguments. You could even have an accident on the job. You would perhaps wear a uniform in the job at some time in your life with the martial sign Aries on the cusp there of your 6th house. But you've got a very exciting thing going on there in your 6th house, and it's a prolonged cycle, but it goes right through the whole of 2014 as well as the previous year and the next year as well. You've got Uranus there transiting through your 6th house. So you can expect in this period, Scorpio, to have the unusual and the unexpected to occur as far as work is concerned. You could have a sudden upheaval in your job. You could have a sudden change in the job. You could have some sort of a crisis crop up in the job. You could have also some crisis that could crop up as far as your health is concerned during this time. So you can expect the unexpected, Scorpio, with Uranus there in the 6th house of your horoscope, interfering with your service needs, unless you are there serving with plan and structure and organisation to be able to fulfil those service needs and to be selflessly serving other people and perhaps the less enlightened among our brethren. Now, the way that you can serve as you get older in life, Scorpio, is you can serve by bringing about change within yourself. Change in regard to diet, change in regard to exercise, and change in the way that you be of selfless service to other people. And you do this through bringing about change within yourself. You bring about those changes within yourself, controlling your diet, getting stuck into exercise, looking after the body, and through that you radiate out there into the world of human living and thinking, a resonant vibration that brings about change in others that you will never meet. So Scorpio, it promises to be a very interesting year for you, the arena of the job. The unexpected will crop up. And now Mars is the ruler of your 6th house, Scorpio, and with Mars being retrograde for quite a lengthy time, from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May, you're going to experience quite a lot of frustrations and tensions as far as your job is concerned and your service activities. With the Martian energies being retrograde there, you could be having a tendency to be impulsive in some way in speech connected with the job. Arguments and conflicts can creep in 2014, especially during that time, with co-workers and so forth. Now, as far as your 7th house is concerned, Scorpio, you've got Taurus on the cusp of your 7th house. So you like stability as far as marriage is concerned and partnership is concerned, and you are attracted towards somebody who is very good looking and either in the male or the female, whatever. And you are attracted towards those who love music and artistic and creative things and are quite practical and down to earth in their nature, who love going out to restaurants and places of amusement. And you can be a little bit possessive, Scorpio, in regard to your partner. And they can be a little bit possessive towards you as well. But things should go pretty smoothly for you during the year in 2014 in the area of relationships. On the cusp of your 8th house, Scorpio, which is the house of change, you've got the flighty sign Gemini there on the cusp of your 8th house. And so you bring about change within yourself through study, research and investigation and getting stuck into books and things like that. And you also communicate to others about the need for change within yourself, and you take others into your confidence and you communicate with them about changes that you're making within yourself, probably those who are in your neighbourhood or relatives. On a more practical level, Scorpio, you'll have many fluctuating circumstances in regard to joint finances that you share with your partner. So there'll be many changing circumstances with regard to joint finances during that time, throughout 2014. There's a tremendous sense of duality within your nature, Scorpio, to do with your sexual nature and those addictions that we spoke about earlier. Sometimes you may feel as if you're dealing with two people in the one body. Now, on the cusp of your 9th house, Scorpio, where you are fulfilling your needs for expansion, you've got the home-loving sign of Cancer on the cusp there. And that means that you bring about change within yourself and expansion within yourself through curling up with a good book in the home, through dedication to the family and the family unit. And you would perhaps live distantly from the place of your birth at some time in your life. Family members who are born overseas or live overseas at some time. The 9th house is also the house of in-laws, and so therefore there would be in-laws who come from overseas or live overseas at some time. Now, you've got a very exciting thing in your horoscope, Scorpio. During the whole of 2014, you've got Jupiter in transit through the 9th house of your horoscope for the whole of the year. That is a beautiful thing to have with regard to expansion of your consciousness through philosophy and spirituality and religions of the world and deep thinking and adult education. You've got so much opportunity in 2014, Scorpio, to become more of the giant that you truly are. With Jupiter there in the 9th house of your horoscope, you've got very good opportunity for travel, and travel overseas or interstate can be very, very fulfilling for you and rewarding for you. But there's a tremendous opportunity there for inner transformation and change and a massive expansion of your consciousness, Scorpio, during the whole of 2014. So with Jupiter there in the 9th house of adult education and philosophy and spirituality and expansion of consciousness, Jupiter sitting there during the whole of 2014, it's incumbent upon you, in particular, Scorpio, to take advantage of that and to pick up the ball and run with it and get stuck into my intensives and find out what's going on in our world, what's going on in our reality as far as spirituality is concerned. You'll learn so much about the nature of reality and your place in that reality and how you can magically create the events and conditions in your life more consciously, Scorpio, in accordance and compliance with your conscious choices rather than your subconscious choices. And you've got a wonderful opportunity for the expansion of your consciousness and to become more of the giant that you truly are. With Jupiter there in your 9th house, in-laws will travel and visit, or else they'll travel overseas with or without you during 2014 with that placement. On the cusp of your 10th house, Scorpio, you've got Leo. So that means that you are tremendously self-conscious with regard to your ambitions in life, and you want to climb to the heights of success, and that becomes part of your consciousness. You want to be well thought of in the community, and you would naturally go into business for yourself at some time. There's a lot of social activities involved with the career, and you've got a tremendous desire there to fulfill your needs, to have honour and respect in the community during 2014. You've got a wonderful opportunity there. With Leo on the cusp of that house, there's a lot of social involvements with people that you work with and people that you're in business with and things like that. And you've got a tremendous amount of initiative there, a lot of power there, Scorpio, to go into business for yourself and to do very well in life and to reach the heights of success in your chosen field. Leo is a fixed sign, so you don't like many changes as far as business is concerned. You like stability. On the cusp of your 11th house, Scorpio, you've got Virgo. And Virgo is a very changeable sign, a very mutable sign, so fulfilling your needs for group activities and things like that. There's a variety of experiences in life for you. There'll be a lot of group activities through the job and with people that you work with, and you'll get involved in a lot of group interests of health, to do with health and exercise and diet and things like that. So you'll perhaps belong to a gym or something like that, and you'll really find ways of being of service also to other people's children, to help them through your children and other people's children. Could be grandchildren when you're old enough to have grandchildren. So you belong to a lot of clubs and things like that that are connected with the job and with service activities, generally in health related and diet related. Now, through your 11th house activities, Scorpio, you are fulfilling your needs to develop certain qualities, principles and values within yourself through having Virgo on the cusp there. And they are self-sacrifice, balance, serenity and common sense. Now, the last house that we come to, Scorpio, is the 12th house, and you've got Libra on the cusp of your 12th house. So the 12th house is where you are fulfilling your needs for solitude and aspiration towards the divine. And with Libra on the cusp there, you've got a battle there with your spouse, your husband or your wife, to do with having that solitude and that need for solitude in your life. There'll be a lot of strange circumstances and mysteries surrounding relationships in your life with that sort of a placement. You will naturally, with that sort of placement, having Libra on the cusp of your 12th house, have a lot of crises and secret worries and insecurities there in relationships, Scorpio. And not the least of which is caused by secret activities to do with the sexual side of your nature. Now, you are in the process, through Libra on the cusp of your 12th house, Scorpio, of developing some certain qualities, principles and values within yourself throughout 2014. And they are concentration upon deep subjects, patience and caution. And so that wraps it up as far as your life in 2014 is concerned, Scorpio. So the big ones for you, Scorpio, the big focal points of consciousness for you during 2014 are Saturn in the first house, focus upon being practical and down to earth and planning and structuring your self-initiated efforts very carefully. Uranus in the 6th house, bringing about innovation and change with regard to health and diet and exercise and things like that, and bringing about innovation and new ideas as far as work and employment and service is concerned. And the 9th house with Jupiter there is wonderful for you for expansion and growth and development in terms of adult education, philosophy, spirituality, and growth and expansion to become more of the giant that you truly are. So Scorpio, it promises to be a very exciting year for you. Well, now that you've been exposed to what I've told you about the events and conditions that you'll be experiencing in 2014, where do you go from here? Well, it's very, very important for you to understand that just because you don't have all the answers, it doesn't mean that other people don't. And so I've written 2 books. What Really Matters is a book about astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And I've taken all of that material out of that book and put it into 12 CDs. And I'm happy to send you those 12 CDs free of charge. So what you do from here on is subscribe to my website, subscribe to my videos through YouTube, so that every new video that I bring out will be sent to you. And I'll be doing 100 videos or so in 2014 for your benefit on all aspects of spiritual growth, to help you become more of the giant that you truly are. My other book is called Coming Home: An Eternal Journey, and that one goes into things a lot more deeply about the larger plan and quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and all sorts of other stuff that we won't bother with here. So what I want to help you to do is to be more successful in your life, to be able to consciously create the events and conditions in your life. You have that power. Make no mistake about it. You have that power inside of yourself to create all of the events and conditions in your life by conscious choice instead of subconscious choice as you're doing now. So submit your birth details, even if you've watched videos of mine in the past. Submit your birth details so that I can send you your chart together with those 12 CDs out of my first book on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And also I'll send you other stuff too, all the links to all of my videos and everything. So this is all free of charge to help you become more of who you really are. But you then have the option of taking horoscope number 2. Horoscope number 2, look, what I'm telling you here in this particular reading that you've just been watching is I'm only telling you a very small amount of the things to do with your ascendant and the signs on the cusp of each of your 12 houses and the movements of the planets through your houses in 2014. But there's so much more there that's in your individual horoscope that I can't touch on, because I don't have your personal horoscope. There won't be another person born with the same horoscope as you for another 25,000 years. So you've got the moon is in a certain house and a certain sign and forming certain aspects with other planets in your horoscope. And that means something to you. You've got Mercury, which is your communication skills and your mentality. And that's in somewhere in one of those 12 houses. And that's in aspect with other planets and so forth. And that has meaning. You've got Venus, which is your love nature. And that is sitting somewhere in one of the houses of your horoscope. And Mars is sitting in one of the houses of your horoscope. All of these things have meaning. They have aspects with each other, with other planets and so forth. So this all has meaning. Jupiter is a major beneficial influence in your life. Where have you got Jupiter sitting in your horoscope, which is the main area that you can find happiness and joy and wonder and expansion in your life? Saturn is sitting somewhere in your horoscope, so there's a lot of tests there involved with Saturn. And Uranus and Neptune, all these planets have impact, and they're all sitting in different houses of your horoscope, and they're all forming aspects and relationships with each other that make you unique and different from everybody else. So I want to interpret your horoscope for you. So in horoscope number 2, I'll do that for you. It's a 20-page printout on you and you alone. And all to do with your personal planets and your houses and signs and aspect and so forth. And then to have horoscope number 3 is my voice with beautiful relaxing backing music. to tell you all about the intimate side of your life and where your tests lie and what's going on in the immediate past, so you can say, yes, he knows what he's talking about, and then I'll go into the immediate future, 5 years or so for you, and tell you what's coming up. This helps you to have a map to know where you're going in life. So I thank you for your attentiveness here and look forward to working further with you should you get involved in my intensives and should you have your horoscope done by me. Thank you.